Okay, so I'm in Paris, walking around looking at shit, because that's my hobby. That fancy shit. Some fancy shit. And the other night, my life was very nearly ended by the same kind of stupid Lime brand motorized scooter going 40 miles an hour down the sidewalk as the Lime brand scooter going 40 miles an hour down the sidewalk that almost killed me in LA. And I realized, after the multiple waves of panic attack ended again, that countries don't really matter so much anymore thanks to globalism, which you notice nobody complains about anymore because, well, the left used to complain about it, but then the right started complaining about it. So the left decided that globalism was a secret dog whistle for Jews or something, which it might be to some people, but it used to mean we don't want everything to be fucking McDonald's. But I guess people don't give a shit anymore. Anyway, as a consequence of globalism, countries don't matter. It's cities that matter, as can be evidenced by the fact that the mayors in places like Paris and LA see mayors in other major cities and decide that they have to do exactly the same stupid shit as the other mayors are doing to supposedly help the environment. I don't know how changing pedestrians to electrified scooter riders cruising down the sidewalk at 40 miles an hour killing people helps green up anything at all. I mean, arguably, all those people who are getting creamed by these scooters have to be cremated. Wow, that was a pun that I didn't do on purpose, but I'll go with it. They're creamed, then they're cremated. I think that's probably where creamed came from, actually, as an expression. That would be my guess. Anyway, you get creamed, and then you get cremated, and your ashes and shit go up into the air. That is not green at all. But mayors follow fads, and they have to do the same thing. And not all of the fads are bad. I mean, now LA and Paris both have Flix buses, which are made by BMW, and they're extremely comfortable. They're very cheap, and you can get to other cities on the cheap. I mean, you could always take a train, but not so much in LA. Anyway, after my second city near-death experience by Lime scooter. By the way, whoever is making cajillions of dollars selling those fucking things to every city on earth really should be strung up by their balls or tits or both, depending. Anyway, after being almost killed again, this seems to be happening to me way too often, but it is inspiring. I decided maybe I should do a video series. I made a video for you guys. You guys. Oh God, I hate YouTube. But nonetheless, I'm thinking it'd be interesting. Because I'd also been thinking there's so much bizarre shit in LA. Like, this is going to be a shitty video because I'm just shooting it myself, because if I turn my stupid phone outward, you're just going to get a blur, and if you turn it at me, you're just going to get a blur. You probably didn't even get to appreciate those fancy schmancy hotels because they were just a blur. But if I got a GoPro, I think you can get one for like $35. I could strap it to my head, look like a freak, then everyone would stare at me so I'd get to see their faces in the GoPro, and videotape the goings-on and the parallel goings-on and the identical goings-on, like almost getting killed by those fucking Lime scooters, in every city I go to. I tend to go to a lot of different cities. And yeah, things change by the city. People are making such a big fucking stink about the American election, even in France. They think it's hilarious. I mean, the Democrats are very entertaining, but Trump is entertaining just sitting there watching them with no Republican primary to speak of, which I've never seen in my life. It's insane. I mean, that's all very entertaining as, panem and circenses. But as far as actually running your life goes, the people that nobody pays a fucking shred of attention to, unless, a mayoral candidate, as in Paris, has been sending, dick pics to God knows who. That was funny. But half the people who are complaining about him probably can't even name the current mayor of their own city, much less New York or what's the capital of Russia. I'm having aphasia, something terrible thanks to the PTSD, but that's a whole different story. Moscow. Yes, that was not very hard, Anne. You fucking tard. Anyway, I'm thinking of doing a video series on the different cities I go to and how their policies on the city level affect people's lives, and how cities half a world apart can now affect each other's stupid ideas and Flixbus level good ideas almost instantaneously. I mean, shit. I'm not even sure which city had those fucking Lime scooters first. They almost got me. Well, I'm not even going to talk about that incident, but what's worse, being killed or being jailed? I'm not sure. Anyway, sometimes I do get lucky. Actually, I guess I have been generally, in a way, lucky because none of these attempts by the gods to kill me have been successful. Possibly because I'm immortal. I'm testing that hypothesis every day, especially talking into a telephone while I'm walking through traffic. Anyway, what was my point? At least I've finally been diagnosed with ADHD. I have an excuse for having to walk 10 miles before I can be useful on any given day, and I have an excuse for rambling. Don't know what my excuse for my nose running constantly is. There's a medical reason for it, rhinorrhea, but they don't really know what causes rhinorrhea. They just figure you should be happy that it has a name. Anyway, thinking of getting a GoPro and documenting. My first idea for getting a GoPro was in Los Angeles because everything in Los Angeles is insane. And every block has something new that's insane to look at. Also sometimes beautiful, but usually just insane. Also, both in Paris and in LA, the number and dimensions of the rats lately are just out of control. Paris doesn't have the, well, except for when they had the garbage strikes, Paris doesn't have the visible piles of trash everywhere that LA has due to their policy of just letting homeless people build castles out of trash, and also the fact that they don't seem to have set any money aside for trash. And yet, Paris still manages to have these rats that run around at night. And if I were wearing a GoPro on my head, I could document said rats. It took me weeks to get a photo of an LA rat to prove to somebody that I wasn't making that shit up about the rats. Somebody who had lived there before when there weren't as many rats. And was like, I've never seen rats. And I was like, oh, gotta get a photo. Wow, it took me a long time to get a photo because by the time I whipped my shitty phone out and the phone app actually came up, the rat would have scampered in his rat way off to do his rat things that don't involve getting photographed or, as he presumably thought, eaten by me. But if I had a GoPro on my head, all I would have to do is look at the rat or whatever crazy thing was happening. I'm just using rats as an example. Anyway, yeah, cities are interesting. And in the global economy and also the global internet culture, they're all trying to do the same shit, but they do it in slightly different ways. Although the 40 miles an hour speeding on a scooter shit seems to be ubiquitous. I didn't see them the last time I was in Chicago, but it's kind of hard to go 40 miles an hour on the sidewalk when the sidewalk is completely frozen solid. But I'm sure they'll try at some point because they don't want to be behind Paris and LA. I mean, they're ahead of everyone in gunshot wounds, probably other violent crimes as well, but there's a rat. 2 of them. I don't know if I got that, because this camera's a piece of shit. That's why I need a GoPro. I am approaching the Champs-Élysées, the most beautiful avenue in the world, supposedly, and it's lots of rats. Lots of rats. I mean, 2 of them. You don't usually see 2 rats at a time. Anyway. Took me. There's another one. Oh my god. He's booking, man. The rat that I finally got a photo of in LA was literally the size of a poodle. And I think he must have thought I was a movie producer because he stopped and gave me time to pull out my phone. I had plenty of time to pull out my phone, plenty of time for the app to come up. He was posing. I took a bunch of photos of him, actually. I think he actually thought I was a movie producer. And he looked pretty fucking pissed when it turned out that I was just taking photos to document the rat problem in LA, which is probably part of what almost killed me via typhus, but that's another long-ass story. Anyway, let me know if you would like for me to document the insanity that is the modern city on this, I can't remember the exact Douglas Adams quote, unfashionable rock hurtling around a kind of shitty sun that's going to blow up and kill us all someday. Unless we clone what's-his-face, the guy who sent the car into space. Oh my god, my aphasia for proper nouns is getting really embarrassing. I want to say TJ Maxx, but that's a bargain store. What's his fuck? You know, the guy with the funny head. He was dating that singer. Oh, fuck it. Anyway, let me know if you want me to document this. It's amazing. I am going to brag. I have a huge vocabulary in several languages, but I cannot remember proper names to save my fucking life. Elroy, Erod, fuck it.